Welcome to Stop Wasting Your Wine, a wine review podcast dedicated to helping you discover great wines with great value for every occasion. I'm Aaron, and this is the best damn wine show out there. As always, I'm joined by Colin and Joel. How's everyone doing? We are just super excited to be back with y'all, getting ready to launch yet another wine challenge. Guys, how's it going?
Yes. Good. Refreshed. Feeling good. Ready
Ooh,
to go.
refreshed.
Yeah.
Because you had another bottle of Forbidden Kiss.
100%. Yeah.
We had a couple great interviews talking to us about, St. Francis and all the great stuff they're doing over there. And now we get to launch into a brand new challenge where hopefully, Joel and I will get a little bit of redemption, another shot, hopefully get to steal the crown from Colin.
Another challenge with a bunch of red flags, though. I mean,
Ooh.
we are stepping from one minefield to another. What are we doing?
Why are we making
here?
this so hard? Like, we're making up the challenges. We can make them easy, but we keep making them so weird and hard.
That's right. I don't know. What are we doing?
Well, before we scare the listener too much, Joel, why don't you let the listener know what are we stepping into? What are we doing ourselves?
Okay, so this month we have adopted the challenge of finding the best celebrity wine, okay? Rules are simple, under $30, and the wine has to be owned, produced, or affiliated with a celebrity. So probably some come to mind, a lot out there to pick from, but like Colin, you said, really a lot of just, I don't want to say, let's just say traps, okay? A lot of potential traps out there.
Potential traps is the nicest way you could have said garbage in the entire world.
Because actually there's a ton, right? Like the more we looked into it, it was funny. I think Colin, you suggested this one. And when I started Googling it, I was like, holy shit, there's a ton. Yeah. There's a ton that they're like directly owned. There's a ton that are just slightly affiliated. Ones that are super obvious because like the person's face is on it or their name's on it. And then some that you would Snoop. Like never guess. Yeah, Snoop. Which like I think the Snoop one even like wasn't initially, and then like he became affiliated because it was so closely aligned to him. It just like eventually became official. So there's like so much out there. But to both your points, like, it's hit or miss, like hard.
It is.
Yeah,
it is
for sure.
Yeah, no, a lot of misses from what I've tried. Honestly, just from me personal experience, a lot of misses. So that was, I think, the hardest part of this challenge for me was just not finding terrible wine.
Yeah, and can I say too, I think there is a realm of good wine that's owned, affiliated, or produced by a celebrity. $30 mark made it really tough, though, to find the cross-section here.
Sure.
Because I've got some, if we expand this a little bit later and we maybe open that up a little bit, I've got some good ideas for some good ones out there. But I want to remind everybody, too, we did make it a little bit tougher on ourselves and make a $30 max for this as well.
All right. So in a second, Joel is going to tell us what wine we're drinking today because Joel gets to kick off the challenge since he went last time. But just as a quick preview, Colin, did you find a wine that we're going to get to drink in a couple weeks?
So I went with the Sun Goddess Pinot Grigio Ramato wine by Mary J. Blige.
Very nice, Colin. Very nice. I picked the LVE Signature Series Cabernet Sauvignon by John Legend himself.
Oh, he's so cool.
He is so cool.
Well, I picked the wine that we'll be starting our challenge with today. And this is the Dreaming Tree Crush Red Blend, of course, affiliated with Mr. Dave Matthews.
3 musicians, huh? Look at us.
Yeah, that's kind of funny.
How did we do that? That was not on purpose.
Know.
That is weird.
It wasn't. It is weird.
Actually, a lot of folks that popped up when I was going down the rabbit hole trying to find one. A lot of musicians making wine.
That is kind of funny.
Or at least affiliating with wine. I don't know how many of them are making it.
They're all stopping the grapes. They're all in there. They're all knee deep in the grapes.
Yeah, I'm sure they
keeping the rhythm. Well, that's a little preview there, but let's waste no more time.
Yes.
Joel.
Yeah.
You let us know. We got Dave Matthews leading the way today. Tell us a little bit more about what we're drinking.
Yeah. Okay. So, like I mentioned, we are drinking the Dreaming Tree Crush Red Blend. This is from California. It is a red blend. We had the research department go looking around to see exactly what the blend was. Didn't didn't find specific answers on that one. Perhaps it changes from year to year. And we are drinking the 2023. Now, you can pick this up for about $15. So well below the maximum on this one. So I don't know if it's going to be good or bad.
Well below. Yeah, Joel,
Yes.
2 $15 wines in the challenges in a row.
I know.
He's out here taking shots, taking swings.
Yeah. I knew the Forbidden Kiss was going to be trash.
Yeah.
This one I feel somewhat confident in.
That's fair.
All right. So, man, like Colin said, $15. Mm-hmm. That was a choice. Yeah. Did you have any other factors in there, Joel? Why that choice?
Yeah, I mean, I had a couple of reasons. First, I've always known about this wine, and I'm not even like a huge Dave Matthews guy. I am a man in my mid-30s, so he's in my ether. I am ultra aware of him, and whenever I listen to him, I know more about the lyrics than I thought I did. But so it popped into my head, one of the first ones that popped into my head, and then I started looking at, Dreaming Tree itself, founded in 2011. It was actually a partnership between Dave Matthews and a winemaker, Steve Reeder. He's out in the Portland area, pretty well known, has a background in it. So I thought, cool that it's not just him slapping his name on it. I'm sure he's not out there in the fields, but he actually was in like the formation part with this winemaker, Steve Reeder. So I thought that was pretty cool. They focus on sustainability. They have a small portfolio of about 5 wines. The Crush that we're trying today being the cheapest, I believe, and pretty darn accessible. So, I thought, what the heck? It's been around for a little while. Let's give this a go.
I love it. They're great reasons. I mean, honestly, that sounds like potential for quality, no doubt. I think you really stepped up your game in this week's chat.
Thanks, man. I had reasons. I don't want to forget that I also had reasons for trying the Forbidden Kiss. So I don't want to feel too confident.
There are always reasons.
Yeah.
Hey, but we say like there are bonus points, right? Like if you do find a really good wine at $15, that really, gives it a great boost in the end, right? Because then you're like, oh, shoot.
100%. That's also what I was thinking. The value proposition on this could be huge. So I'm sort of hoping that that's the case.
It can really help out at the end. Or
we shall see.
You left some potential out in the field,
We'll see, man.
Let's find out. Well, we had a little bit of time. I popped mine open probably at this point about an hour, 15 minutes ago. I wanted to give it some time to air out, knowing it was a nice red blend. Let's get our noses in there.
Tastes like wine.
Colin, why don't you start off? What are you getting?
Yeah, the one thing that sticks out to me is the oak. This definitely has some oak influence at $15, whether or not it's actually seen a barrel. I don't know. But it definitely hits you with that vanilla-y oak sensation right off the bat. There's some other stuff in there too, but I'd like to hear what you guys say.
Yeah, I think the vanilla is definitely a great call right off the bat. I'm definitely getting, I think, more of the vanilla and spice off the top than the fruit that we get often on a red. I think I'm getting more of those kind of secondary scents that we often get, getting more of those primary on this one. Joel?
I'm going to say, definitely, yeah, what you guys are saying is right. But I think not too far behind is some nice fruit notes. Like I think, some raspberry in there, some strawberry. So definitely, and younger, fresher smelling, in my opinion.
I was wondering if there's some Merlot in here because I'm kind of getting that minty note that we found in some other Merlots. So I wonder if that's part of the blend. And then, some nice red fruit. I don't know how fresh it is. Only because I think the oak is kind of covering that up. So it'll be interesting to see on the palate how it comes through because it is in there, but it's hard to tell if it's like exactly ripe or maybe a little bit overripe. So it'll be interesting to see how that kind of comes through.
Mm-hmm. Colin, I think that level 2 nose of yours is paying dividends today because I haven't found anything official, but I have found some like expert reviews and interviews. And Merlot is often the first one that they name as a blend in this wine.
Well,
so well done. Well done, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Let's give it a taste as well and see what we're getting. Colin, why don't you start us off?
Yeah. So, I mean, just big congratulations, Joel. This is about 3,000 times better than the Forbidden Kiss. Now, we
Thank
were also
you.
starting at 0.
Yeah.
So we didn't have
0 times 3,000 is 0, Joel. So watch out.
Totally
This might be a real backhanded compliment.
No. This is far better than that, no doubt. But so what am I getting? I think the oak influence, whatever that is, really just kind of hits you. I mean, it's vanilla and a little bit of spice. That's really the main thing I get on the palate as well. A couple of those red fruits too. I think a little bit of strawberry in there. And I think it's a little bit jammier, I would say, than fresh. I think it kind of leans jammy more so than it does like crisp or ripe. So I don't know. What are you guys picking up?
Yeah, I think it's definitely. I'm kind of having to reset my brain because we've had so many big reds recently, and this is very different than everything we've tried recently. And so I'm right away trying to separate my brain from like different equals bad, because it's not. That's not the correlation I'm trying to make. It's jammier. It's more like berry centric. It's smokier, and it's just different in that way. And I can see folks who have a preference of this style really enjoying this style of wine. But I think it's if you are into younger, jammier wines, this would be something you're looking for. But it's different than the old Vine Zin that we just had. It's different than the Cab Sauv that we just had recently. It's very different. But it feels younger and jammier, and like that's just creating a whole different vibe. Joel?
To me, it's like it's somewhere. It's fresher, my experience over here, because I'm not in the jammy camp right now. I'm trying to see if I'm having an issue or what, because when I'm drinking this, like, to me, these are like, this is like a nice, lively raspberry little cherry situation that's going on here. It's not totally jammy. I think maybe what's going on, let me throw this out there. It may be a bit of what I'm experiencing here. I'll just say that. I won't project on you guys. I'll tell you what I'm thinking a little bit is, to me, the fruit is very young and fresh. But you're right that there's a major oak influence over everything. That's bringing in that vanilla. It's bringing in some of that softness from the oak that I think maybe, but if you focus on them differently, I think it's like this really cool, interesting thing where it's fresh. It's a vibrant, lighter, like medium body red. I was expecting this to be like just heavy and sort of, going coating your mouth and just being like a one note thing, but it's not. It's actually got a little bit more going on than I thought it would.
Yeah, and let me ask you this: are maybe jammy and heavy getting kind of confused? Because you can have.
That's what I was going to ask.
A jammy.
I think there's a terminology mix.
Flavor there with a lighter style wine, right? So, because to me, the fruit it's a little bit overripe. It's not fresh to me, but there is enough acidity to kind of lighten everything up. And this is not a heavy wine, even at 14.5% ABV, but still the fruit for me is definitely overripe, getting into that jammy area.
Maybe.
Yeah, when I'm saying jammy, I'm not saying negative. I'm not saying heavy. I'm saying
no, I know.
Like jelly, like almost like picnics. Like I saw something. I'm reading through reviews trying to get my brain on this, and someone wrote like barbecue, and I was like, yeah, I want this with like a pulled pork sandwich. I want this with, I want this with barbecue. This is like a red wine that feels actually like it would pair really well with food at a grill. Like there's something about it that feels lighter in that sense. But yeah, so it's definitely not. It's not like a weightiness to it. It's like this. It is a younger, freshy aspect to it, but it's also unique and very different.
I agree. For the record, I like a jammy wine. Like I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of you guys saying that. To me, the experience is more like eating this fruit than it is like having a spread of this fruit. And it sounds like you guys disagree. So that's just what. But maybe you're right. Maybe Colin, what you said is right. It's because it does have. I would say this is like a medium plus acid situation as well.
Yeah, for sure.
So maybe that's what's kind of like lifting the whole thing up a little bit in my sip experience here and making me think that.
No, I agree. The acid is actually really nice on this one. Yeah. I think it adds, because without the acid here, I think it gets bogged down in the oak. But there's enough acid to kind of cut through all that oak, Joel. I think you said something similar where it just kind of, I think the overall vibe of the wine is a little more bright than it is necessarily heavy and bogged down. But for me, anyway, the flavors, and it's not like, I wouldn't say overripe. I mean, I wouldn't say like cooked. It's not that far. But but it's definitely at the very end of the ripeness spectrum, getting into those jammier flavors. So I don't think we're that far off, to be honest. I think this is honestly just, with the subjectivity of wine, we're all kind of dancing around the same answer. Just we all experience a little bit different, which pretty cool, actually.
Can we all say jammy 5 more times?
Yeah.
Jammies.
Oh, jammy.
Jammy. All right. Oh, I think that's a good place to stop and park it for a second. We'll come back to it. I also think this would be an interesting wine to, decant, aerate, let out, which is always fun with a $15 wine. To just like really see what happens if you let it sit for, 3, 4, 5 hours and really, see how the air impacts it. With that being said, though, let's give it. No, we don't have 4 or 5 hours. Let's give it 10 minutes. And in the meantime,
listener, do you have 4 or 5 hours? Because we can just hang out.
Yeah, you can go buy this bottle of wine, pause.
Yeah, we'll be here.
And join us back in 4 hours. Set a timer. Let's learn some stuff.
Time to drop some knowledge. Wine drops.
So today we're going to do things a little bit different, and we're going to kind of really dig into, earlier Joel used the word trap, and we're talking about celebrity wines, and we're going to kind of break down, just kind of what we're talking about there, and what the kind of trap might be, especially when we're talking about something like the Dreaming Tree red blend. You might see something like California. You see words like rich. You see words like decadent. You see words like jammy, and it's easy. Jammy, which is a word we only used 83 times so far in the show. It's easy to assume that it's going to be a big, it's heavy, it's a steakhouse kind of red. It's even a debate that we kind of accidentally started to have.
100%. That's kind of like, that's what I was kind of saying I was expecting, and I was a little bit shocked that this was such a, medium body situation. You're usually thinking something thick, something mouth coating, like I was saying, something high alcohol, or that's
right.
Super prevalent, and like you're saying, like something that you need. You said a steakhouse, like something that you just want to pair with a big meaty ribeye or something like that.
Right, exactly. But actually, like most like mass market California red blends, especially those from the Central Coast, aren't actually built to feel heavy. They're actually built to be smoother, and that ripe jammy fruit isn't there to signal power. It's there to kind of signal more of a softness to it.
Yeah, and I mean, we've kind of already had this discussion, which is fun that the wine led us there before we even got into the learning segment. But I think that's the distinction people miss with jammy. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have a strong wine. What we're really talking about is the way the fruit tastes. We're looking at the fruit spectrum there, not necessarily the weight of the wine or maybe how heavy it feels on the palate. We're really talking about the difference between fresh raspberries, taking them maybe out of the fridge or right off the vine, as opposed to a raspberry jam.
And I think why we're all thinking this and we're talking like this is because we're thinking about the California Central Coast, right? We're talking sunshine. Anytime we're thinking about heat and sunshine, when we're talking about grapes, we know we're talking about grapes fully ripening. We're talking about a lot of sugar, and typically higher sugar, acidity softening. So, grapes like Zinfandel, Merlot, these grapes that kind of lend themselves toward that kind of a style, that sort of a flavor profile,
right.
kind of come to mind. Then, though, then it comes down to the winemaking process and the style and what's actually applied to the fruit. So, style that will sort of, intend to soften out those rough edges, keep the tannins from being completely overwhelming and taking over your mouth and giving you that weird dry mouth situation, and using oak in a way to enhance the wine, right? To bring in those kind of nice, some of the notes that we were talking about, right? The vanilla, the baking spices, instead of being smoky and sharp and something that's going to like really kind of have a harsh effect for you. What you end up with is not something that is harsh and gripping. It's something that's rounded out and kind of easy and nice. So, Colin, question I'll throw to you. When you take a sip, with all of that in mind, what should someone expect?
Yeah, and of course it depends upon the blend, right? It depends upon what grapes the winemaker is using. The fruit profile is going to be completely different. But I think in general, what you can expect, especially when we're talking about more of those jammy wines, is you might experience actually a little bit of that sweetness, but with the wine still being dry, right? So there won't be any sugar in the wine, but because the fruit is so intense, you might get the perception of sweetness. These wines are made to be drank now. These aren't agers, so the tannin should be nice and soft. It should have some good acid to back that tannin up, but it's not going to be overbearing or offensive. Again, wines in this style from this region are made to be drank right away.
Well, I think that's kind of what screwed me up, right, when I went and grabbed this bottle, because I see California, I see that it's a red blend, and I wasn't sure what we were going to get. Like, you grab a bottle like this, and I don't know if we're going to get something that's going to be this big, backboned, heavy, structured, powerful red. And instead, we grab it, and it's just kind of more of a just chill bottle of wine.
Yeah, which is like the complete opposite of what somebody might expect, right? Like we're saying, you see that, and you think bold and intense, and somebody is not looking for that, and maybe doesn't have a big old steak or, some chocolate there that they want to pair with it. They might avoid a red blend from California.
I think, again, it's why learning about this is so important, because people go in thinking one thing, they grab the bottle, they open it up for dinner, and they're like, crap, this is the exact opposite of what I thought I was grabbing, right? And again, especially you talk about, like, you go into that aisle at Total Wine that's just all those West Coast, like, reds, and you just think all of them are going to be like these giant reds. And then, you grab a California red blend. It's just the opposite of what you think you're getting for that price point.
I think when it comes down to it, you have things that really work to make that style. You have the warm Central Coast fruit, which gives you those riper flavors and really softens that acidity. And then you have winemaking focused on, like I mentioned, the drinkability today. These aren't age-worthy wines. They want you to pop them open and just enjoy them. So when you put that together, what they're going for is a nice wine where nothing sticks out sharply. It's just cohesive and easy to drink.
Okay. At this point, I feel like we've been talking about what you would typically expect, what you can expect, what you might not expect. Let's simplify this a little bit and just say California red blends. Who is this for? What type of wine drinker is this for?
It's for my wife.
Oh, perfect.
This is for the person who is like, I don't want that giant tannic red wine. Yeah. I don't want that hyper dry red wine. I want that medium road, relaxed, chill. I want that wine that's going to go with a pizza. I want that red wine that's going to go with a burger. I want that uncomplicated, accessible red wine.
Yeah.
And that is what a California red blend is. We've said it in the past. It's a drinker, not a thinker. Guys, I have to say, honestly, I always learn a lot in our learning segments, but this, I gotta be honest, this is probably one of the most illuminating learning segments we've done in a while, as far as just completely separating just entire segments of the West Coast reds for me.
Yeah,
I was kind of baffled when I walked into Total Wine, and this was just in a totally different aisle than the West Coast reds, because I didn't know why. I didn't understand why it was in a different aisle. And now I know.
You know what's funny? I'm way more comfortable going into a wine store and being like, I want a Nebbiolo, I want a Côte d'Rhône, I want this or that. I want to go to Alsace. I want to go here. Like my region, my grape, I'm way more comfortable with that than I am at this point walking in and feeling confident picking a red blend, because I do feel like there's so much there, and the blends and the styles and the winemaking that occurs after even the grapes creates such a varying degree of product at the end of the day that I think it's tough to figure out what your niche is. But it's also really cool that I think there is a lot to explore there and to start getting into.
All right, guys, a lot to think about. Super excited to get into this. Before we get into our final review, we had some updates to our very elaborate view and rating system. But would you mind very quickly reminding our listener how we rate wines on the show?
Be happy to, and I think we need to keep talking about it because, as you know, here at Stop Wasting Your Wine, we don't believe in numbers. We believe in the vibe of the wine, okay? So our ranking scale is the following. We have our must shares. These are wines that are exceptionally good bottles of wine that have something extra special that deserve to be shared. Next, we have our solid pours. These are just really good wines. After that, we have our casual sippers. These are enjoyable, but not necessarily memorable. And then we have the waste of your wine. These are wines that are overvalued, low quality, or just completely undrinkable. At the end of the day, of course, we still have our wine fridge for those incredible wines that just really kind of knock our socks off. And we have 3 coveted spots in there that we can fill throughout the year.
Amazing. Okay, so thinking about this wine, of course, Joel gets to go last because this is his wine, and huge stakes as this is the first week of our Celebrity Wine Challenge. All right, Colin, I'm going to ask you to go first. Anything new popping out to you as this wine is sat just a little bit longer, and how are you feeling about it in the end?
Yeah, but did they like it? It's time for the review.
Yeah, so the one thing I'll notice and we didn't really talk about before was the finish, which goes away immediately. I mean, you take a sip and then it's just like, bye-bye. So, it's nice what's there. Like the flavors are nice, but there's just not a ton of finish. Other than that, I don't think it's really changed in the short amount of time that we haven't been drinking it. And for me, I think this wine kind of defines the casual sipper category. I mean, it's not terribly complex. It's super easy drinking. Like you could open this up. It's not going to take away from whatever you're doing, but it's definitely not a wine that you're going to think about because there's really just not much there. But what is there is nice and it's enjoyable. But again, the category of casual sipper is not necessarily memorable. And for me, this isn't necessarily memorable.
Yeah, I mean, similar to you, Colin, I don't think that this wine has really crashed into Merlot the way that it expected to. I'm sure it wanted to march.
God, he's got them written down
into the wine fridge.
He's reading.
No, it's going to be terrible. But look,
no, keep going.
Overall, yeah. I was like, this is normally Joel's place. I'm not going to let him do it because he's in the end. There's just so much to say about the Syrah on this wine. But look, I went into this when we opened up, I got real nervous about it because, again, I was comparing it to a lot of the reds in my wine. But the more it opened up, the more I thought about, the more we learned about it. I do have to say, I think this is a really good casual sipper. And I want to say that because, again, I think the thing about our rating system is unless it's a waste of your wine, there is a place for it. And something being a casual sipper is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just how I want to experience this wine. And this is a wine that I would grab if I did want to have a wine just around the house to just drink casually or at a picnic or in the backyard or at a barbecue if I'm going to have a bunch of people over and, I'm going to have, just a certain vibe that this matches. So this is a casual sipper, especially at $15. It is a bottle that I would grab on occasions where it matched that need. I think there's a place for it, and that place is to just kind of have to chill. And that's totally fine for this wine, especially for $15. Joel, how are you feeling about your choice today, man? How's it going?
I feel good. I feel really good. And I think everything you guys said is spot on. And that alone is a wonderful surprise for me. This is absolutely a casual sipper and a very pleasant casual sipper. And I don't think, I feel like in a lot of these, we don't have a lot of high expectations. I didn't really know what to think on this one. It's really enjoyable.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's really enjoyable.
Low expectations for all of these. So casual sipper is a great start.
Absolutely. And like you guys said, I really think that this could be the one that defines this category. Nothing that's making me super excited. Nothing except for the fact that it's actually pretty decent. Nothing that's making me hate this. It's some pretty quality stuff in here. It's fine. And the thing that I think is going to help me win this challenge is that value proposition, baby. $15 for a really drinkable wine. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling pretty good about that. Casual sipper, and I feel a lot better than I did in the last challenge. I'll just say
it's,
that.
As you should.
It's a
As
Dave
you
Matthews wine. I'm gonna drink it while playing guitar or sitting under a tree. I don't want an $80,
That's right.
Cab Sauv doing that.
You
I
don't
want a
want that.
$15, pizza wine. It matches the vibe.
That's it.
100%.
That's it.
You
He's a man
match
of
your
the people.
celebrity's vibe.
And this is the wine of the
perfectly.
people. That's right.
Why are the people? Why are the people? Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's great, and now I'm thinking about mine. I'm like, shoot, is the trap punching higher than what the celebrity's capable of? So, shoot, great job.
Your trap is the guy who made the wine, but we'll talk about that next week.
I am,
No.
we'll talk about that next week. I'm
save it for next
all about
week.
second chances.
Save it for
all
next week.
about second chances or terrible revenge. Cool. All right, before we go, we're gonna play a game. Joel, you want to listen to it?
All right. So we have done an entire show now on a Dave Matthews wine. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a little disappointed in the number of puns and lyrics that were injected into the show. Aaron, thank you for trying to cram a few in there in the last minute.
tried.
Much appreciated. But I think there's a lot more room here. There's a lot more to explore. So let's actually make our game a little bit about some Dave Matthews Band lyrics. And to make it fair, Colin would love for you to run this for us if you could.
Yeah, I like how you said to make it fair because I don't know Dave Matthews' song from any other song. So,
Yeah.
I'm running this one because I don't know any of the music. So what we're going to do is I'm going to read a couple lines from the chorus of each song, and it is their job to give me the next line. So, thinking of a number between 1 and 5. Aaron, give me a number.
3,
No.
4.
Nope.
2.
Yes.
Damn it!
Aaron.
I gotta be honest. I've been really good at yelling gibberish to Dave Matthews for 25 years. I'm not really
Steps in the
sure
bag.
I know any of the words.
Well, it's time to tighten up because
Time to find out. Let's go.
because we got some songs coming at you. All right.
Okay.
The song
With
is
words?
with with
Oh,
words.
God.
Shit.
Again, I
makes
don't
it
know
so
how
much
any
harder.
of these. I don't know how any of these go, so I'm just gonna read what I have on the screen. So
Hum
the song is "What Would You Say?" Chorus: What would you say? Don't drop the big one. If you're a monkey on a string, don't cut my lifeline. If you're a doggy on a chain,
Don't bite the mailman.
yes, nailed it.
Well done. Well done.
Man,
It's my
that
favorite
was
song.
really good. All right,
Favorite DMB song. Not favorite song, favorite DMB song.
nice. Well, one
Wow.
point to Aaron. All right, Joel, your song, "The Space Between."
Okay.
Here we go. The space between the tears we cry is the laughter keeps us coming back for more. The space between. Joel.
What's wrong and right?
No. Aaron.
The fickle lies.
Oh, God. He's so close. It's the wicked lies we tell. I don't think I can give you that. You did get one word, but you missed 4. So, so no
fair.
points. No
Like
points
a
for that one.
knife twist.
He's firm, but he's fair.
That's right. All right. So this one is back to Aaron. Your song is Crash Into Me. And here is the chorus. Oh, when you come, crash into me, and I come into you, and I come into you.
Whoa.
Those are just the lyrics, man. I'm just reading what's on the page.
Oh, my God. Never thought
Call
about
it.
these words. Continue. Go on.
No, that's it. It's Aaron's
Remember,
turn.
my mother listens to this show. Colin, my
Yeah.
Lord.
Again, just reading what's on the page. Aaron?
Okay.
That's the
Next line.
chorus.
Yes.
I don't remember that. The song changed. It was like coming to you again.
No.
Crash into me.
No. The next line is in a boy's dream. In a boy's dream.
In a boy's dream. Yeah.
Darn.
Damn it. Okay. All right.
So reading that without knowing what the song is,
It's
really,
worse.
really,
Colin has
just
no
strange
context.
stuff. No context. All right, on to the only Dave Matthews song I know, Ants Marching. And this
Okay.
one is
She's
for Joel. The chorus,
Okay. Mhm.
take these chances, place them in a box until a quieter time. Joel?
Lights out, you up and die.
That's so close. He got 5 out of the 6 words correct.
Come
Give
on.
it to him.
That has to be good enough. So,
That's
okay,
good
I'll
enough.
give it to you. That's a point. The actual lyrics
Thank you.
are lights down, you up and die.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
There's definitely been a concert where he sang Lights Out.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Thank you.
You're probably right.
I'm enjoying the gentlemanly exchange on this, and thank you.
That is very nice. So, last question. If whoever gets this wins, or do we end in a tie? The song is Satellite. Here's the chorus. Winter's cold spring erases, and the calm away by the storm is chasing. Everything good needs replacing. Aaron.
Look up, look down, all around satellite.
Yeah, that's it. Aaron with the W.
Well done.
Thank God.
Well done.
Well done. That was hard. I learned something. That's for sure.
I don't know.
Me too.
99% of the words I've been yelling for so long.
Well, you know some of them.
I just can't wait to see. Let's keep track of the score as we play this game a lot moving forward. We're gonna play this game again, right?
Maybe.
Well, wait till it's John Legend and Mary J. Blige. Let's see how well we do. That's going to get way harder.
Way harder.
That was a lot of fun. Most importantly, Dave Matthews is affiliated with the wine. That's super fun. So,
a pretty decent one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, if you see the Dreaming Tree, actually, you know what, Joel? You found, this gem. So one more time, why don't you let our listener know what we're drinking today, and what did we rate it?
I should mention as well, this is the very accessible Dreaming Tree. You see it everywhere. Folks at home, if you're a big Dave Matthews fan or a big wine fan, you might be saying, oh, he also has Blenheim Vineyards based out of Virginia. And yes, he does. A little bit harder for us to get. So acknowledge that he's got his hands in a couple of different things when it comes to wine. But as far as being able to get our hands on it at this price point, we went with the Dreaming Tree. So maybe one day we'll try his other vineyard that I think he's even more kind of hands-on with. But for today, talking about the Dreaming Tree Crush Red, not a waste of your wine. I don't think this is really fun. Enjoyable. I think, Aaron, you even said, in a pinch, I would pick this up. It's is what it is. It's doing what it's supposed to do. So,
$15.
Not a waste of your wine. Give it a shot. Don't go out of your way to grab it or anything. But if you're in a pinch and you see this, totally safe.
Yep.
Casual sipper.
Yeah.
All around. All right, everyone. Awesome. Another great week. If you haven't checked us out in the past, go back, listen. Great interviews, great wine reviews. And moving forward, Colin, if someone wants to interact with us, how can they do so?
Yeah, sure. Instagram is the best place. You can send us an email. Cheers, stop wasting your wine. And then go check us out on YouTube if you'd like to see our smiling faces. We are Stop Wasting Your Wine everywhere.
Colin, Joel, always great seeing you guys. Everyone else, we'll catch you next week.
And remember, stop wasting your wine.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.